What's going on, guys? It's your boy Swole TCG, and we out here again with another spicy, super hot fire deck profile, and I cannot wait to get into this with y'all. I wish I took this to YCS Orlando. I feel like I would have done a lot better if I did. Deck is performing absolutely crazy. This is going to be Azamina Bystial Fiendsmith. So I removed the cash engine. I decided to play a whole Bystial package, not just do a couple Bystials for hand traps and full Lubellion, Branded to Regain, and it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. A hard shutout, Bystial Fiendsmith. It's so good, I love this. And I'm gonna keep testing with these builds as the format's changing. I had another guy on our channel tell me as well to try out Mitsurugi Azamina. And that sounds fire, guys. I don't know about y'all. I think the sweet spot for me right now is doing a 3-engine build. I feel like a 3-engine build is pretty awesome because you can maximize how many hand traps you're playing, and it also is gonna throw your opponent off because they're gonna be like, oh, he's doing the Fiendsmith lines, okay. And I know he's playing Azamina, all right, so I need to stop these two, but then they don't see the Bystials just coming out of left field, you know, or they don't see the cash coming out of left field, or you don't see the Fiendsmith, you know, they're missing one. Nobody ever expects 3 engines. I feel like a 3-engine deck is pretty confusing. And with Azamina being so diverse, you can make it its own separate engine. Just like cash can be its own separate engine, Fiendsmith can be its own separate engine, and Bystials can be its own separate engine. And I think that's really cool how you can splash it. And Azamina has a lot of control factor into it. I think that's why I love it. That's why we love it, you know? So I really love this build. Let's go ahead and get on into it and let me know what you guys think. All right, what's going on, guys? Let's go ahead and get into this deck profile. Fiendsmith, Azamina, Bystial. I'm gonna go through the engine first, and then we'll go into the non-engine, then we'll go to the extra deck, and then side deck as we do per usual. All right, so first up, Fiendsmith engine. Obviously, the Paradise, the one of, absolutely amazing. Crazy card, never should cut. Blurry, great extender, pretty obvious. One tracked. The best normal summon in the game, probably in the game's history. You better have 2 hand traps to stop this guy. Absolutely phenomenal. 3 Lacrima. And then 3 of the Goat. Love this card. Love the artwork on these guys. I really hope Fiendsmith gets more support. F the haters. I love Fiendsmith. I think it's just such a cool engine, just like Azamina, and I hope it does get some more support. I know it does need to get power crept a little bit right now, but so crazy. I love it. Next up, the Azamina, my personal favorite. 1 Morian. All right, absolutely amazing. Slumber is just so good. The ability to reset itself is so crazy. It's just phenomenal card. 2 Hallowed, per usual. I actually like seeing Hallowed in my hand with the Simple Spoils. It's pretty awesome. 3 Deception. So I put 3 Deception on this build just because you're going to run into a little bit more bricks sometimes, because like if you go up against Mermail, which I did, it's kind of awkward having Bystials because then you're just Bystialing your own shit. So it's kind of shitty, but Deception makes it better. Wanted, obviously, best 1-card starter in the game. And the Bay, the ultimate bitch, witch, you know, bitch, witch, same thing. Absolutely love her. 3 of those. Now, for the spice, the Bystial part. 3 Lubellion. It is so crazy. Love this card. The 1 Mag. 2 Druis. 1 Baldrake. 1 Saronir. And 1 Branded Regained. Branded Regain is such a crack card. I mean, you're already recycling. This is why I love this build together, is because you're already recycling with Fiendsmith. You recycle with Azamina and Wanted. Everything recycles. Branded Regain also helps you with recycling with your Bystials. Your Bystials are hand traps. It answers quite a bit in the format. And then this right here is also what I love as well. And I was actually kind of thinking about playing more Saronir, because if you actually send him off Deception, you get the effect to dump a Bystial. So you can go ahead and just put in your Lubellion into the grave, and if you have another Bystial, it's just crazy, dude, because it came up quite a bit when I played, where I had Deception, I sent Sornir, and then I got Lubellion into the grave, then I got Brain to Regain out, and they already answered the other thing, and I just controlled the game through Bystials. So it was pretty funny. It was just Druising away. They're saying I ball draked my Druis to remove their 2 guys. It was crazy. It was crazy. You know, I think the Bystial engine is pretty awesome. Next up, let's go into the non-engine. I feel like this is going to be pretty standard until we get a ban list, but every deck has it. 3 Ash, you need it. It's the best card. 3 Droll, still to this day, I love Droll. And it didn't come up to where I locked somebody out of the game like it did at YCS Orlando, because I did a box tourney. I won the box tourney. But it did come up where I got Fool Lost and I had Droll in my hand and I just Drolled them and then I proceeded to full combo. So, I mean, Droll it's so good. It's so good. People are underestimating how powerful Droll is. Like, regardless of how much people are searching and adding cards, like just having Fool Lost, getting Fool Lost, Charmy, the 3 Charmies out there right now, this card just stops it. So it's like, all right, sweet, let's get it. 3 triple Ts. I think this is the best board breaker you could possibly have in the game. I mean, a Pedigree that also is a mind control that also looks and rips 1 from your opponent's hand. Like, it's crazy. The amount of diversity you have inside your games playing this, I mean, it's always going to be a 3 of in my deck until you get this card. Personally, I mean, unless we get to the format where Alliance Insight, this might not be as good because of the Psalms of Kings coming out. And then that's going to make the Dominus cards a lot better. And then we're going to see it's going to be a heavier trap format for sure once Alliance Insight comes out. So talents might not be as good. Imperm. Probably the best hand trap ever created next to Ash. And last but not least, Giant Rock. Nib was pretty phenomenal, honestly. I mean, it's really not a bad card. I really like Nib. You know, if you have it, like, I mean, people got to respect this card. If you don't respect Nib, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. So I think that's pretty great. I'm not running Fool Loss right now. I sold mine into the hype because I'm not going to hold on to a $90 card that's going to be $5 in the future. Otherwise, I would play Fool Loss, but you don't need it. I mean, clearly, I mean, I'm winning tournaments without Fool Loss. I have been. I played YCS Orlando. I thought without Fool Loss, like, you don't need Fool Loss. But it is a win more condition, and if you do have it, I would play it. I'm not entirely sure what I would cut for it, because, I mean, technically, even though this is only 15 hand traps, my Bystials, I mean, right now Bystials are hand traps. So, I mean, you're talking about like another 20 hand traps right here. That's also part of my engine. But I'd make room. I mean, I'd probably side rock, honestly. I think this would be the least effective card out of all of these. Droll, Ash, and Perm, just way too good right now. Talents, way too good right now. Rock's good. He needs to be respected. But if I had to cut one for Fool Loss, it'd be this one. And then also, you can always side Fool Loss too. Like, if you don't want to, like, I mean, you could always do that. If you want to be aggressive and play the Rock and then side Fool Loss, you can. I mean, there's room for it, and you'll see that when we get to the side. All right, so next up, let's go ahead and get into the extra deck. Typhon came up quite a bit for me. This card was awesome. Saves games. And it's also the out for Azamina, so keep that in mind. You got to watch out for this card. If this card hits the board, you want to make sure you get rid of this card ASAP. Because the moment they summon this card, I'm paradising and I'm getting rid of it because I know they're going to hit the Azamina. Saint Azamina does not like this card because he does not target. Wave Hiking. Awesome card. Funny thing is, though, is with the Fiendsmith engine, yeah, you're always getting into it. But he doesn't come up as much as Evolzar Lars would. And I kind of want to run both Evolzar Lars and him just because of the amount of Bystials I'm playing. Because it did come up quite a bit where I'd have 2 Bystials, and the most I could do was go into an SP. And I mean, I did, and it worked still, but I feel like if I had an Evolzar Lars, I mean, it would just been, they would have folded right there. Chaos Angel, the GOAT. Always need it. It's always there. Necroquip. Necroquip is also the GOAT. Love this card. You have to hand trap you there. I mean, it's just crazy card. People underestimate how good this card is. I mean, especially if you have Fiendsmith inside your hands and you have this already on the field. I mean, you're just getting a free draw. Like, it's crazy. And same thing if you hand trap you while you have this on the field. Like, sometimes I'll do that. Like, if I don't really have too crazy combo, I'll combo off with my Azamina, leave this on the field so I can get a draw. And then Bystial, the best Azamina in the game, next to Saint. Just crazy card. People constantly forget about if this card is destroyed by battle card effect, you get a Sinful Spoils card. And it comes up quite a bit, and it's hilarious because they'll ask us and be like, okay, run into it, go 30. It's crazy. Just awesome card. The Omnia Gate, always need it. Great card. Saint Azamina, probably the most slept on fusion in the game right now. People are not ready for this card. They do not understand this card. The amount of times people had to pick this card up and read it because they're like, what? This card is insane, man. And people are so underestimating it. And I think it's just funny, man. I think it's funny. Part of the reason I made the YouTube channel, just because of how awesome deck archetypes like this can be. And we just need to get more creative, man. We need to build a community that's going to be more creative. 2 Desiree. So if I was going to cut a card for Evolzar Lars, it would be this. So once again, YCS Orlando, the second Desiree didn't come up. It came up like one time. And then box tournament after box tournament, it did not come up. So I probably from here on out, if I run Fiendsmith inside this build, I'm most likely going to cut 1 Desiree, because even if I use the trap, I always end up shuffling back Desiree. And it's irrelevant because people are just going for Requiem and they're going for Engraver when you use their effect with their Bystials. No one's ever hit Desiree. Like, it's never come up. So I mean, it did one time, but like for the amount of times it came up, I feel like a Volzar Lars would have been better. So I might cut 1 to Volzar Lars. Now SP Little Knight, dude's the GOAT. He was my Volzar Lars because I didn't have anything to extend past with my Bystials, and he helped me win a game. So 2 Requiem, this is always a 2 of. If you're running the Fiendsmith engine, you need 2 Requiem. Requiem's the #1 Bystial target in the game. Phenomenal card. I feel like I have to say this every single time. I mean, it's always a 2 of. If you're playing Fiendsmith, you better have 2 Requiem. Moon, great card. Sequence, self-explanatory, and then our big OTK line. Love this card. Now let's go ahead and get on into the side deck. So my side deck is a little different. I wanted to try out a few different cards this time around. I played 3 Solemn Strike, 3 D Barrier, 3 Lancia. I feel like 3 Lancia is always going to be standard. Everybody's going to be running 3 Lancia as long as Malice is still running around crazy. 3 Ghost Spell and 3 Phantasme. So the reason for the 3 Phantasme and the 3 Ghost Spell is because my locals has a bunch of Malice, a ridiculous amount of Malice, and I wanted answers for Malice particularly. And so I knew that box tournament was going to be flooded with Malice, so I decided to prepare for Malice, and that is the reason I did this. 3D barrier because you got to respect Rizal. It comes up, and then Strike is just such probably the most generic, best counter trap in the game, and I love this card. This card was phenomenal. It came up quite a bit. Love it. I honestly kind of want to main deck it. I'm trying to work with builds to main deck it, but it is such a brick if you're not going first. So it's like, I mean, it's not like a brick, but it sucks.
All right, guys, I hope you like my deck profile. That was my spice, that was my sauce. It got me a nice box tournament. It was so much fun playing it. I love testing out these different builds with Azamina. I think this build is probably my favorite so far, and I feel like it's the strongest so far. I think the Bystial engine right now just beats out the Cash engine so effectively because it
it's like a 2-for-1 trade. Like it gives you extension at the same time. It's also providing you with hand traps. So I really love this build. Huge fan of this build. I wish I brought this to YCS Orlando. I wish I thought about this a little bit more. Maybe I'll bring this to YCS Rhode Island, but we still have to see what happens with the ban list. We have no idea what's going to happen. Las Vegas is coming up soon, so we'll see how much Fiendsmith gets hit. I mean, I feel like everybody's expecting that one to get hit pretty hard. So we got to see and adjust from there. But for right now, this is a crazy awesome build. Let me know what you guys think. Next up, we are going to be mixing some Azamina and Mitsurugi together. And I'm thinking about doing Azamina Mitsurugi Bystial. So this is going to be kind of fun because you can actually play, you can side Dominus because you can side out the Lubellions and then play the Dominus in if you're going second, because then the Bystials are just hand traps for you. You know, there's some crazy lines I've been thinking of. I've been brewing up. One of our guys on our channel, shout out to him. I forgot your screen name on there, but he brought up using Mitsurugi Azamina. He's been running it. He's going to give some feedback on it as well, but I'm going to start building and putting that one together. I already have pretty much the Mitsurugi cards to get this going, so it's going to be, I think this one's going to be pretty fun. So we'll see how that build comes out. Let me know if there's any kind of builds you are thinking about with Azamina, or if there's any builds you're thinking about with Fiendsmith or Bystials. Let me know, because all these archetypes are so cool, man. I think we can get just so creative with it. I want to keep building this community and make it more creative, get some more diverse decks into this meta, all right? Besides this typical, I'm playing Ryzel Fiendsmith, I'm playing Malice Fiendsmith, I'm playing Malice Sky Striker. Let's get diverse with it, man. I want to see some crazy builds. So let me know what y'all think, and let's get to it.